Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock, and we want to begin this evening with a proposed rate hike that could leave you paying up to $30 more a month on your electric bill. AES is saying it's closer to $21, but either way, it's got Hoosiers worried. So tonight, our Alex Almanza shares how this could hit your wallet and the woman that he met who is already living without power. Alex?
Scott, that woman we spoke with says she's been living off batteries for 3 months. She attended today's rate increase town hall, saying she wants to send a message on behalf of the working class. On Indy's west side, long faces, deep sighs, and dark thoughts about AES's proposed rate hike.
I would rather get held up at gunpoint because at least that guy might be taking my money to pay his bills.
Dozens gathered for a town hall hosted by the Citizens Action Coalition, urging Hoosiers to push back. AES says it needs more money for rising costs and investments, but the coalition asks how much is enough.
That if they reduced their net income to 5%, there's no rate increase at all. Folks should be able to afford the basic necessities of life.
The company filed its rate review in June. If approved, Phase 1 hits in early 2026, around a $12 increase. Phase 2 adds another $9 in 2027. But the coalition says that's not the full picture. Add in past hikes, fees, and environmental costs, and they say the real hit to customers is closer to $30 a month, nearly $470 million more for AES by 2027.
I have constituents who make the decision, do I buy food, do I buy medicine? If you buy food and you got a power outage for 7, 8, 10 days, your food's gone.
Those decisions were already made by people in the room. Darcy Stacer decided to fix her car over electricity. So now she says she has no power and still owes $2,000 to AES.
I'm basically camping in my house right now using battery-powered lamps and fans. I don't know how well that's going to work with heat, so I might have to bring in kerosene, which isn't safe.
But I mean, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't
No, I absolutely shouldn't, but what else can I do?
For now, she says she's putting up a fight, hoping someone hears her. So a lot of people are asking, well, what now? Well, the Citizens Action Coalition says AES customers can write a letter to the Office of Utility Consumer Counselor urging regulators to say no. We're going to have that info on how you can take part on our website. The deadline for a decision from the Regulatory Commission is in March. Scott?
Alex, thanks so much. The case of a mother and son found dead in a Greenwood home tonight is a criminal investigation, and police are searching for the person who's responsible.
It's just so terrifying, and I just, hearing about this community that has felt very safe.
33-year-old Karen Clay, a mom in her 3rd trimester of pregnancy, found dead Monday. Her death tonight ruled a homicide. Her 3-year-old son, Carter, also found dead. Investigators aren't saying how either of them died, but police believe they may have been dead a week before they were found Monday inside of a home on Greenway Street, which is near US 31 and Smith Valley Road. And that complicates this investigation. It's why police are hoping neighbors can help them piece together what happened.
So we've already obtained several ring videos, surveillance cameras from neighbors, but there's probably more out there that we haven't located. If anyone's heard anything, if anyone has any insight into who may be responsible for this, that's what we're looking for.
We don't have any word tonight on a possible motive, but if you have any surveillance video or if you saw something suspicious over the last week, please reach out to Greenwood Police. We've got their contact information posted right now on WTHR.com. Speedway is iconic, home to the Indianapolis 500 and one of the most famous racetracks in the world. 70 miles away is the Miami Correctional Facility, a prison that is now part of a new partnership with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Now those two places are unexpectedly linked because of a recent post from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security amid the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. First, I want to go ahead and explain how all of this started. Last week, Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced a new agreement with ICE that would essentially delegate some federal enforcement powers to local or state leaders. As part of that deal, Miami Correctional would make 1,000 beds available to house ICE detainees. Then just last night, Secretary Noem first dubbed that facility the Speedway Slammer. That came with a post on social media showing an open-wheel race car driving on a track in front of a prison. Now IndyCar is pushing back, saying in this statement, "We were unaware of plans to incorporate our imagery as part of yesterday's announcement. Consistent with our approach to public policy and political issues, we are communicating our preference that our IP not be utilized moving forward in relation to this matter." Now, we talked to an IU business professor tonight about the Trump administration's strategy.
The current administration absolutely loves to tap into popular imagery and things that are going to have a splash on social media. This is why they're using social media in the way they do, and they do it quite effectively.
Speedway leaders say tonight that designation was developed without the town's involvement. Tomorrow, Vice President J.D. Vance is set to make a visit here to Indianapolis, and one topic expected to be front and center is redistricting. This is a topic making nationwide headlines thanks to the battle playing out right now in Texas. And soon that battle could be happening here in Indiana. So typically, congressional districts are outlined every 10 years after the census. Indiana, as you know, currently has 9 congressional districts. 7 are held by the GOP. Those are the ones in red. 2 by Democrats. Those are the 2 in blue, including here in Indianapolis. But this midterm push backed by the president is part of a plan to pick up more Republican seats in the U.S. House. It's an unusual move, according to a political expert over at UIndy.
This would be unprecedented, and in part because we recognize it takes a lot to redraw district lines, and the idea of the legitimacy is it's because of census data. There's no reason to believe anything else has changed that we would need to redraw the district lines to address.
Professor Laura Wilson went on to say the governor is the only one who could call a special session, but lawmakers have to agree to do it. No plans are in place right now. Tonight at 11, investigators are now working to determine a motive in a shooting at a military base in Georgia. CNN tonight is reporting the suspected gunman had a disagreement with one of the victims Tuesday. Now, according to CNN, he followed that co-worker to a maintenance area and then shot him in the chest before shooting 4 other people this morning. They cite a law enforcement official briefed about this case. It's not clear right now what that disagreement was about. All 5 victims are expected to be okay tonight. The commanding general at Fort Stewart credits the quick actions of people nearby.
Soldiers in the area that witnessed the shooting immediately and without hesitation tackled the soldier, subdued him, that allowed law enforcement to then take him into custody.
The gunman has been identified tonight as a 28-year-old sergeant. Investigators say he used a personal handgun, not a military weapon. Tonight, they're trying to figure out how that firearm got onto the base. Rob?
Well, most of the area did not see any rain this evening. When you look at radar, it's been relatively quiet. I say that, but many of you did get an extremely heavy downpour. It just happened to fall across right over the city, really, over the last couple of hours. And now we're seeing some of the rain showers farther to the south and east. Most of this is going to continue flaring up and then going back down, subsiding. We may get a couple more pop-ups overnight, but most of the area will not see rain. It just so happens that one of the most heavily populated areas did see rain. Temperatures have cooled down, 70s, and we've got some 60s on the board, but I expect right around 70 degrees, give or take a couple degrees either side of that, with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, another similar day, but we've got increasing rain chances and increasing temperatures. I'll have that coming up.
Here's a look at the other stories making headlines right now. Tonight, an Indianapolis man is under arrest for attempted murder, accused of leading Westfield police on a chase and firing shots at officers. All of this unfolding yesterday near US 31 and 196th Street. Police say officers tried to stop the suspect before he took off, eventually crashing his car and getting away. Tonight, police are looking for the driver in a hit and run that killed a bicyclist on the near northwest side of Indianapolis. All of this happening around 6 this morning near 16th and Tibbs. The cyclist was found with traumatic injuries and died at the hospital. Tonight, the city of Westfield is gearing up for a special census. Leaders tell us it's to get a more accurate picture of the area's growing population. So starting Friday, people will get a code and a link in the mail to complete the census online. The U.S. Census Bureau will then follow up with reminders over the next month. A federal appeals court just ruled Indiana's so-called 25-foot law unconstitutionally vague. The law essentially establishes a buffer zone between the public and officers performing official duties. It passed back in 2023, but it's faced multiple lawsuits. One of them is from several central Indiana media outlets, including WTHR and our parent company, Tegna. This ruling from the appeals court upholds a previous decision from a federal judge. Remember, you can find all of our latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.